Hello viewers, you're watching the VNA News Agency's Daily Bulletin, and following are the top stories.
National Assembly Vice Chairwoman Nguyễn Thị Kim Ngân pays official visit to Japan. ASEAN and EU experts and diplomats share experience in building the ASEAN socio-cultural community. Conference on competition policies and laws in East Asia takes place in Ho Chi Minh City.
As part of her visit, National Assembly Vice Chairwoman Nguyễn Thị Kim Ngân held talks with the Speaker of the Japanese House of Representatives, Tadamori Oshima, in Tokyo. At the talks, Ngân proposed the two sides increase the exchange of delegations to foster legislative ties.
Ngân, who is on her ongoing visit to Japan to the World Assembly for Women 2015, expressed her delight at the growing partnership between the two countries, as well as the two legislative bodies. She vowed that Vietnam always pursues an active and proactive bilateral and multilateral external policy, contributing to peace and stability in the region and the world. Tadamori Oshima pledged that he will do his utmost for the stronger ties between the two parliaments. Regarding the East Sea issue, both sides agreed that the matter should be dealt with through peaceful measures with conformity with international law. Ngân had a meeting with Vice President of the Japan International Cooperation Agency, Hideaki Momichi, during which she spoke highly of the role that the agency plays in Vietnam's economic development. She suggested that the agency continue assisting Vietnam in building infrastructure system to serve the country's industrialization and modernization process. The vice chairwoman also highly valued the program to give children and maternal health assistance in Vietnam, proposing that the agency expand the program to all 63 localities across Vietnam.
Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Phạm Bình Minh hosted a reception on August 26 for Israeli Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs J.P. Hotovely. More details coming up next.
At the meeting, Deputy Prime Minister Minh spoke highly of the Israeli official's visit and affirmed that Vietnam always attaches importance to friendly and manifest ties with Israel. Minh expressed his delight at the fine development in cooperative relations between two countries, especially in trade, agriculture, science, technology, and education. The Deputy Prime Minister urged the two sides to work harder in order to raise two-way trade to $2 billion in the next few years. For her part, Deputy Foreign Minister J.P. Hotovely affirmed that Vietnam is the key partner of Israel in Asia, and that Israel wants to develop all-round ties with Vietnam. She also expressed her pleasure to witness the efficiency of cooperation projects, including a cow breeding farm in Ho Chi Minh City and TH Chu Milk Factory in Central Nghệ An Province.
Experts and diplomats from ASEAN and EU countries gathered in Hanoi on August 26 to share experience in building the ASEAN socio-cultural community. Our reporters will have the full story.
Addressing the event, Vietnamese Deputy Foreign Minister Lê Hoài Trung praised the European Union as one of the most successful models in terms of regional integration regarding all aspects such as economics, politics, and social affairs. Chung noted that ASEAN can learn from the EU experience to build its own community in general and socio-cultural community in particular. He expressed his hope that once established, the ASEAN socio-cultural community will share similarities with the EU. Meanwhile, Chief Representative of UNESCO in Vietnam, Catherine Mueller, emphasized the need to improve living skills in a common community and provide information about the community to people.
It's a very important challenge, but I think what's most important is, first of all, education. Make sure that everybody is learning how to live in a community. Second, it's information. Make sure that information reaches to everyone, that everyone understands what is the purpose, what are the regulations, how do I participate, and to be clear what are the benefits.
Panels at the seminar focused the discussions on approaches and lessons learned from the EU in managing socio-cultural affairs, while proposing detailed solutions for the blueprint of ASEAN socio-cultural community.
A conference on competition policies and laws in East Asia took place in Ho Chi Minh City on August 26. Representatives from competition management agencies of East Asian countries and businesses attended the event.
The conference, the ninth of its kind, served as a platform for representatives from East Asian countries to exchange experience in enforcing competition laws in a bid to create the most favorable conditions for businesses. Japan's competition policy was introduced at the event to help other regional countries implement this policy effectively. With transport advantages, East Asia is seen as a drive for dynamic competition among economies in the region and the world at large. This fact poses challenges to relevant agencies in building and ensuring a fair and healthy competition environment, with the aim of boosting economic development in the region.
Agricultural experts have discussed ways to draw investment in rural development in a bid to realize the National Target Program on New Style Rural Area Building for the 2010-2020 period.
Participants at a recent workshop in Ho Chi Minh City called for sustainable and concrete incentives to encourage enterprises' investment in the sector. They highlighted the difficulties facing enterprises in investment in the agriculture sector, saying that most of available incentives have been offered to the industry sector.
There should be more policies encouraging investment in agriculture, as this business carries risks and depends much on weather, climate, and biological conditions. Moreover, lower profit as compared to other sectors makes businesses reluctant to pour their money in agriculture.
The seminar also pointed to the small-scale production as a key factor to the inefficiency and the high risk facing the sector. It stressed the need for a large-scale agricultural production model in each commune, drawing the involvement of local enterprises in building modern rural areas.
To encourage more investment in the field, it is necessary to change our mindset on agricultural development. At present, we are working to ensure food safety, and when this target is achieved, we should shift to the technology-based agriculture with more competitiveness and specialties.
Participants shared views that a comprehensive and favorable legal framework is crucial to mobilizing resources from businesses in projects while enterprises in the field can access loans. They said the state should build a strategy for agriculture to raise added values in agricultural production.
Measures to fully tap the potential of the VNA Passage in the southern province of Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu were discussed at a workshop in the locality.
The August 25th event heard that the Ministry of Transport is mobilizing resources to dredge the passage to accommodate larger vessels and urged the Provincial Customs Office to facilitate vessel access to ports. Vũng Tàu is home to 57 port projects with a total registered capital exceeding $7 billion. As many as 28 of them have gone into operation with a total annual capacity of 87 million tons, including 7 container terminals of 6.8 million TEUs, 20-foot equivalent units. However, the container terminals only handled roughly 17% of their annual capacity. The VNA Passage runs through Tân Thành district in Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu province, Long Thành and Phước An districts in Đồng Nai province, and Cần Giờ district of Ho Chi Minh City.
The former imperial city of Huế has welcomed over 2.1 million visitors in the first 8 months of this year, up 3% against the same period last year. The result helped Thừa Thiên Hué's tourism sector earn 1.89 trillion Vietnam dong, equivalent to $84 million, a rise of 4% over last year's period. In August alone, the city welcomed 235,000 visitors, including 75,600 foreigners. Revenues from the non-smoke industry reached 234 billion Vietnam dong in the month. Especially tourists going to the province by sea increased strongly. The province has just received 2,600 visitors on board a 5-star cruise. A wharf of the Chiang Mai port is being upgraded, enabling it to receive more big cruises. The Vietnam Chamber of Commerce and Industry and the Vietnam General Confederation of Labor fell short of fixing the minimum wage increase for 2016 during the meeting in Hanoi on August 25th.
The Confederation, an umbrella body of all trade unions and representative of employees, proposed a 16.8% pay hike, while the Chamber representing employers recommended a mere 10%. The information was released by Deputy Minister of Labour, Invalids and Social Affairs Phạm Minh Huân when briefing about the outcomes of the second meeting of the Vietnam National Wage Council. Vice President of the Vietnam Chamber of Commerce and Industry Hoàng Quang Phong insisted that the 10% hike is reasonable, given a 3% productivity rise and 1 to 3% Vietnamese dong depreciation. If the minimum pay climbs 10%, businesses in fact have to shell out 17 to 18% inclusive of social insurance for workers, meaning that they have to pay an extra amount of 30 to 45% compared to 2015. Vice President of the Vietnam General Confederation of Labor Mai Đức Chính raised the fact about 8% of employees nationwide earn more than $230 per month, which is enough only to cover necessities. He suggested the council make field trips to industrial parks to learn about workers' lives and emphasized that the 2016 pay rise should at least be equal to the 2014 level of 14.6%.
The southernmost province of Cà Mau is undertaking various measures to protect its coastal resources and towards doubling local income to $2,220 by 2020.
The province is striving to build clean coastal land with full buffer forest coverage for climate change adaptation and rising sea level prevention. It also plans to resettle 2,000 local households living along the coast and completely zone out coastal areas for production and preservation zones by 2020. To achieve the targets, provincial authorities have helped local residents improve their incomes through engaging in coastal protection activities and establishing dozens of fish farming cooperatives within production zones. Volunteer teams have also been set up to join buffer forest planting and environment protection. Cà Mau has 252 kilometers long coastline with diverse natural resources, which have been negatively affected by illegal fishing and deforestation. Drastic provincial efforts have helped reduce 80% of fishing in restricted areas compared to a decade ago.
An exhibition highlighting the country's development path over the past 7 decades is ongoing in Hanoi. We went along to take a look.
On display are 1,500 items of various kinds, illustrating the national liberation and construction under the leadership of the party and late President Ho Chi Minh. The exhibits are arranged in 4 broad sections, starting with the pre-revolution period, when there were many patriotic uprisings against the French. The second section is devoted to the general uprising for seizing power and the birth of the Democratic Republic of Vietnam, and the significance of and lessons from the August Revolution to the nation and international friends. Also on show are important decrees, proclamations, and documents issued during the first days of the Provisional Revolutionary Government. Another section features the revolutionary career of the late President Ho Chi Minh and his ideology in the party building and safeguarding of the national security and defense. The national achievements in politics, economy, culture, and social affairs over the past 70 years are the theme of the 4th section. The exhibition will run until September 6 at the National Library of Vietnam.
And that comes to the end of our program. Thank you for watching and see you next time.